highly favored. I'm bliss, highly favored. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my full predictions for the Elimination Chamber 2026 pay-per-view. I'll start off with the two women's matches, then I'll get into what I think is going to be inside the mystery box, and then I'll get into the two men's matches to wrap things up. We'll start off with AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I don't know how I feel about this match. I haven't enjoyed their feud too much, to be honest with you. I think it's been kind of cringe. And that's mainly because of AJ Lee. I don't think her promos are very good. I think Becky Lynch on her own is probably the best women's wrestler of all time. That's just my opinion. And I feel like when she's working with AJ Lee, it just comes off as cringe. I don't know. All AJ Lee's promos have not been very good. And even when she came back at WrestlePalooza, not the best in ring either. So I don't know. Hopefully they can have a pretty good match here. But I'm gonna predict that this match is gonna end in disqualification, double count out, or Becky Lynch is gonna cheat to win. One of those three to ultimately set up their match at WrestleMania 42. I don't know how they're gonna go about making that match for WrestleMania 42 if this match doesn't end with Becky Lynch cheating to win, disqualification, or double count out. So it's gonna be one of those three. So that way they can finally have their match at WrestleMania 42, and then AJ Lee will win the Intercontinental Championship there. And then maybe if she can't hold on to the title because her part-time schedule, maybe she loses it on the Raw after WrestleMania. I don't know. But I don't think AJ is just going to win it here just to lose it at WrestleMania 42. Totally possible, but I just don't think that's the route they're going to go in. Next up, we have the Women's Elimination Chamber match. We have the participants are going to be Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton, Kiana James, and Rhea Ripley. So right off the bat, I don't think it makes much sense to have Kiana James or Asuka win, so I would automatically eliminate those two. They'll probably be the first two eliminated. Raquel Rodriguez can be pretty cool. I do think she's pretty good. I think she can probably have a pretty decent match with Jade Cargill. But I think it'd be cooler if she won and then went after Stephanie and Liv. But I don't see that happening. And I don't think her versus Jade is a big enough match for Mania. It could totally happen and I wouldn't be mad at it. But I just don't think that's the route they're going to end up going in. So we're left with Tiffany, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley. Tiffany Stratton is the easy choice. I mean, honestly, I thought she was going to win. But I just don't feel that way anymore. I think she's going to be in the final two. I would prefer if the final two was Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss, because I honestly want Alexa Bliss to win, but I don't see them going that way. I think it'd be really cool if Alexa Bliss won, create tension with Charlotte Flair, and then maybe we get a triple threat, Alexa versus Jade versus Charlotte. If not, Alexa versus Jade one-on-one is a pretty decent match too. Maybe Alexa captures the championship, and then you do Charlotte versus Alexa after. And maybe Charlotte wins the belt before WrestleMania, and then you do just Alexa versus Charlotte for the world title. I think Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair have had the main feud on SmackDown for the women's division. You know, since Tiffany Stratton got hurt, Jade Cargill hasn't been very good with the women's title, and the United States Championship really pretty much doesn't mean anything. So Alexa Bliss and Charlotte have had the main, women's division storyline over there on SmackDown. So I think they honestly deserve to be in the world title picture, but I don't see them doing that. But that's what I want. I think it's going to come down to Rhea and Tiffany. And I ultimately think they're going to go with Rhea Ripley, especially with her losing the championship, the tag team championships last night on SmackDown. I totally thought that she would fight Io one-on-one at Mania, or maybe her and Io would face the Bellas. But it looks like they're going to do Lasha and Nia versus the Bellas at Mania, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. I think the end goal is ultimately to get the tag title and the Bella Twins, so we'll see. But I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley to win the Elimination Chamber because her and Jade would be a really, really good match. And it's been a dream match for Jade since she came to the WWE. So I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley to win the Women's Elimination Chamber. Next up, we get to talk about the mystery box that we've been seeing on Raw and SmackDown. I'm just going to say this is going to be extremely dumb if it's a person. It just doesn't make sense storyline-wise, and it's ultimately a really cringe way to debut somebody. I just wouldn't like that at all. The only person that it could possibly be is Danhausen, and that's okay. I just don't think they're going to debut Danhausen on the main roster. I personally wouldn't. I don't think he's ready. And in NXT, this would be perfect. If there was a mystery box on NXT and it ended up being Danhausen, absolutely perfect. It's just a little weird to have Danhausen debut on the main roster, in my opinion. So I ultimately don't think it's going to end up being a person, because the only person it can be is Danhausen. So I'm saying that this is going to be the draft podium. They're making it, have Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce open it up together, which is what ultimately is making me think it's going to be the draft. We thought they were going to do the draft last year in 2025. They didn't. I think it's because John Cena was world champion for most of the year, and they didn't want him drafted to a specific brand. So I think this year they're going to announce the return of the draft, and, maybe 2 weeks after Mania is start. So I'm going to say this is going to be the podium for the draft. I've seen a lot of cool ideas out there, like maybe, it's a pod, an extra pod for the Elimination Chamber, and they add somebody else to the chamber, like Brock Lesnar or something. I don't hate that idea. Maybe it's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy. I just don't think that's too important, and I think they did it last year. If not, it was 24 when Carmelo Hayes won it, but I think Bronson Reed won it in 24. I don't know. I might be completely off. I think Bobby Lashley won it in 23. Bronson Reed won it in 24. And Carmelo Hayes won it in 25. So it's not really a big deal to return that. The worst possible thing is that if this is a promotional thing for maybe 2K26 or some other sponsor like Slim Jim or Snickers, that'd be the worst. So hopefully it's not one of those. Hopefully it's not just a giant prime bottle. I don't know. I'm hoping it's the draft podium, and that's what I'm ultimately going to predict, because it's been going back and forth between Raw and SmackDown, and Aldis and Pierce are going to open it up together, so this has to be the draft podium. Next up, we got a big one. We got the World Heavyweight Champion, the hometown hero, CM Punk, defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. I don't know about this one. I think they're doing this at a pretty bad time. I think if Roman Reigns isn't going to beat Punk at Mania, then Finn Balor should totally be the one to dethrone Punk. But I think Roman is going to beat Punk at Mania. So I'm just going to be honest. Punk should win this. Going into WrestleMania, he has to look strong against the biggest challenger of his life. Or, probably his biggest match so far. And I just think that Finn Balor right now, for him to get the world title, it's bad timing. I'm honestly a huge Finn Balor fan. I like Finn Balor way more than I like CM Punk, to be honest with you. But to be honest, Punk has to win this clean, unfortunately. I would love it if Finn Balor won, and it was Finn versus Punk versus Roman at WrestleMania. But they're not going to do that. They don't see Finn Balor as a top guy. They don't think that Finn Balor, is a big enough star to invade what is their biggest WrestleMania match. They're considering it the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time. It's obviously not, but they're promoting it like that. So I don't think Finn Balor is going to get involved like Daniel Bryan, I just think that Punk is going to win clean. But obviously, they've been building it up with Judgment Day that Finn doesn't want help. He's going to get help like they always do. If somebody doesn't want help from their faction, they're going to get help from their faction. So Dominic is going to try and get involved for sure. Then, maybe JD McDonough tries to stop him out of, respect for Finn Balor. Finn Balor is his boy. And, he's going to try and stop Dom like, yo, Finn said don't help out. So Dom's going to come out. Then JD's going to try and stop Dom. Finn's going to see it. It's going to distract them. He turns around. GTS. Punk wins clean. That's what I'm predicting. Post-match, we'll probably see, the split of the Judgment Day finally. Maybe, Dom turns on Finn because he's like, I was trying to help you. Why are you mad? Even though Finn told him 100 times, I don't want help. Or Finn is going to turn on Dom because he's mad. One way or the other, Finn's going to end up being the face in this, and he's going to fight Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, which is pretty good. I do like that, but Finn deserves better. So maybe in 2026, we see him get the World Heavyweight Championship. But yeah, that's what I think for this match. Punk wins clean, and Finn kind of gets distracted by Judgment Day, leading to them splitting up. And to wrap things up here, of course, the main event, the men's Elimination Chamber match. The participants are LA Knight, Javon Evans, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Trick Williams, and now Logan Paul instead of Jey Uso. I really loved yesterday's episode of SmackDown. I thought the promo between the 5 of them was really cool. Drew McIntyre coming out was awesome. I think they should have just said that Drew McIntyre attacked Jey Uso and suspend Drew McIntyre for a little bit. Obviously, he's the champ, so he can't be suspended for too long. But eventually, he'll come back and everything. But I think they should have just said that because they have too many mystery attackers. We have the mystery attacker attacking the Vision. We have who attacked Jacob Fatu. Now who attacked Jey Uso. And then what else do we have? Who's going to answer Brock's open challenge? Who's in the mystery box? Like, so many mysteries in the WWE. They should have just said that, Drew McIntyre is the one that attacked Jey Uso. And it honestly makes sense. And instead they're going to try and make it something else. And or they're just never going to say who it was. Like, they should have just said it was Drew McIntyre, but it is what it is. I really do like that Logan Paul is in here, because now I really want to see what him and Javon Evans are going to do, because I know both of them are probably going to try and jump off the pod or the cage. But right off the bat, we can eliminate Javon Evans. I thought of something really cool, where maybe it comes down to Cody, Orton, and Javon, and then maybe Trick is getting eliminated or Logan's getting eliminated. Drew finds his way into the cage, claymores Cody and Randy, throws Randy on top of Cody or Cody on top of Randy, doesn't matter, to get one of them eliminated. Claymores whoever's left, so if it's Cody eliminated Randy, he claymores Cody again and again, beats him down, and then he tosses Javon Evans on top of Cody, because in Drew's eyes, Javon would be the easiest one to beat at WrestleMania, and then Javon Evans wins because of Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre doesn't want to fight Randy, Cody, Trick, or LA Knight. That would be really awesome. I think that would be really, really cool and really different going into WrestleMania, and it makes sense storyline-wise. And then maybe at WrestleMania, it's Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Javon Evans in a fatal five-way, because Nick Aldis sees that he screwed Jacob out of his qualifier and he screwed Randy and Cody in the chamber. That would be peak storytelling. I would absolutely love that. But I don't think that's the route they're going to go in. So we can eliminate Trick and Javon. Also, we can eliminate LA Knight. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think it makes much sense, to be honest with you. I wouldn't hate it too much, but I mean, it'd be different, and that's the only positive thing about it, but I wouldn't be excited for the match of LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre, to be honest with you. Cool to see LA Knight get the opportunity, but not very intriguing for WrestleMania. Logan Paul is in here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to reveal that the Masked Man is Seth Rollins. So I expect to see the Masked Man tomorrow night, because that's really the only reason why Logan is in here. It was the reason why Bronson Reed was supposed to be in there, so it makes sense to have Logan in here to reveal the Masked Man, because they already had that planned out. So Logan's not going to win because of that. I don't know when it's going to be revealed, before or during the match. I mean, while someone's getting eliminated, the Masked Man jumps in the cage, calls Logan, or she just calls Logan before he even gets in the pod. But Cody and Randy's going to be the final two. I personally don't want them to be the final two, just because we already know, like, they're not going to do the match this year at WrestleMania, unfortunately. They totally should. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be cool if, like, somebody else won the chamber. I don't know, maybe LA Knight or Trick Williams. I don't know. They should totally do a multi-man match at Mania, but I want it to be separate from Cody and Randy, because I really want to see Cody and Randy one-on-one. But at the same time, they're the only top guys that SmackDown has, so they both have to be in it. I'm going to go with Randy Orton to win the Elimination Chamber, because like I said, they're totally doing the multi-man match. Drew, Jacob, Randy, Cody. Maybe the fifth man could be like Aleister Black or somebody else, but it's just going to be a four-way, I think, between the four of those guys. And it'd be easier for Cody Rhodes to get into that WrestleMania match than it would be for Randy Orton. So I'm going to go with Randy Orton to win the Elimination Chamber. Jacob was already set in that, as Drew cost him the qualifier and many things before that. So I'm going to say that Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber. Maybe turns heel. Probably not. I think Cody would be the heel, actually. But I'd prefer Randy heel. But I'm going to say Randy wins the Elimination Chamber, because it'd be easy for Cody to get in the WrestleMania match than it would be for Randy to get in the WrestleMania match. So I'm going to go with Randy Orton winning the Elimination Chamber match. And it's honestly who I want to win the Elimination Chamber match. So hopefully that works out. But those are just my predictions for the show. Let me know yours down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Highly favored, I'm blessed, highly favored, I'm blessed.